obviously coming back from injury, just wondering how you felt getting a bunch of those games under your belt right now and where your game is at. Because one of the things Sheldon said is leading into your injury, you were probably their best defenseman.
Yeah, I mean, after injury it's always hard, like especially if you miss like 1 month, like and you play. I think I played like pretty good game before that, and yeah. Now, like physically, I feel really good. Yeah, obviously in the last 2 games I did some mistakes, some bad decisions with the puck, but yeah, I mean, I just need some games to get going, and I think I will be fine.
One of the things that Sheldon said in Minnesota was that, I told Nemo he was going to be out. We had some really good conversations, but I also told him he's going right back in. How important is that, just mentally to know that you're taking a game off, but you're going right back in?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the main reasons was like, yeah, I came back from the injury and we played back to back. But yeah, obviously I didn't play great games. But yeah, it's really good if you hear that, like just be ready for the next game, like you're going in. Yeah, I mean, I took 2 days off and just a little for the reset, and I mean, yeah, I'm ready to play back.
Thanks, Nemo. Yeah. Nico, one of the things that after the victory in Minnesota that Pally said is that this will mean nothing if we can't follow it up with other performances. How big of a statement does a game like this have to be following that up, given where you guys were heading into that Minnesota game?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, he's 100% right. Like, if you can't sustain it, that doesn't mean anything. Every team can be good a night, so we got to find consistency in that game. We played in Minnesota, and that's what we're trying to do here tonight.
What were some of the most important things you saw, particularly in that third period where you guys were able to build that lead? Because I think that's something that had been plaguing you guys for a bit, right?
I think we just didn't beat ourselves. We were smarter, and we played more straightforward hockey with focus on our forward check, focus on our D zone, and then somehow we score goals then, instead of trying to force plays, and which hurt us at the end in our own net. So that's kind of what it was.
One of the things that Sheldon said after that game was your line was brilliant. He loved the way you guys connected and played together. What did you like about the way the three of you play? I mean, I know you've played with them both a lot, but maybe just what that instant chemistry was for you guys and need to repeat.
I think we are similar players. We know we try not to do anything too flashy. We know where we are on the ice, and we know I feel like we can be all good forechecking guys, and we understand like if we put pucks in the right spot and we have a good forechecking structure, we get pucks back and are able to create chances like that, which exactly happened in the last game. So we tried just to do like the simple hockey game where we are talking about the last few weeks, and I know both of these guys can do that.
The Kraken, I think they won like 9 of 10 or something like that. What's the challenge when you play a team? I know you just played the Wild, like in the West, that you don't really see, once or twice a year. What are kind of like the challenges?
We're trying to focus on ourselves here. I think every team is good. So obviously they won a lot of games and they're a good group of guys. But at the end of the day, it's more about how you perform as a group, and we've seen it in the last few weeks for us too. Like if we play our game the right way, we don't really necessarily care who we're playing against.
We hear this all the time from your group that good defense leads to good offense, and we really saw that shift from Winnipeg into Minnesota. Can you just touch on that again and how your strong defensive game really led to the explosion of offense we really saw?
Yeah, like I said, I think we're not forcing plays, and defense starts already with a good forecheck, I feel like, and we're just simplified it. Like I think it was too many times this season that we tried hard, but we tried a little bit wrong, and we're forcing plays, and that's where this league is ruthless. You make a play and it doesn't work out, but if the play works out, you have a great A chance for your team, but if it doesn't, like, it can end up in the back of your net. And understanding that, balancing those risks, I think that's where we got to get super sharp here.
Nico, we spoke to Tom Fitzgerald for the first time in a while today, and he said he was committed. He believes this team still can make the playoffs, committed to this team doing it. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you, but is there some reassurance to know that the GM is all in?
I know what Fitzy believes, and I know he believes in us, and our job is to do that on the ice and give something back to that belief he gives us.
Thanks, Nico. Appreciate it. Sheldon, just taking a look at the lineup that you had out there. I mean, I know in Minnesota you told Nemo he's going right back in. That is the case. Covey looks like he's coming out. Are we just dealing with managing injuries, return, the back-to-back, that kind of thing for Covey in particular?
Yeah, for Covey, it's just managing him. Obviously, 3 games in 4 nights. We knew we were probably pushing it a little bit with the back-to-back with him the other day. Good news is that the knee there's no issues with that. Medical team's kind of describing it as typical for the training camp or early season type soreness that guys go through. So the back-to-back, you fly home, you go to bed at 4 in the morning, and you wake up the next day, you're not feeling the best. So we just thought, given that, made some sense to pull back a little bit, but we don't expect it to linger beyond today.
Nemo said, I know I made mistakes in those 2 games, but particularly the game beforehand. I know I have to be better. What are those conversations like with him going back into the lineup, knowing that he's fully aware of that being part of the reason why he came out?
Yeah, well, I look at it as a real development opportunity for Nemo. That to me, he's taken a step this season. I don't think there's any question that that's the case. Obviously, last season when we were healthy, he was quite often the guy out. He's taken a big step this season. I think deserves the opportunity to be in the mix, which is why he played in Winnipeg and why he's I gave him the assurance he'd be going right back in. It's managing him coming off the injury, but also the awareness of it's in the National Hockey League, you got to compete for your spot every day. You got to be ready, and we got to help him get going. But he also has to. He's got to play with some urgency and all those kind of things. So that's just part of it, especially when you're healthy. When you have less options, you can kind of let things ride. But you got to make decisions all the time when you're healthy as a coach, and that's what you're caught up in. So it's not just for Nemo; it's for all of our guys. I think we have some internal competition here because of the steps that Nemo has taken throughout this season, and I think because of what he has, in my opinion, earned. Mm-hmm. That's why when you tell him he's coming out, you give him the assurance he's going right back in, just because you're obviously wanting to maintain the player's confidence that he has, and knowing that we have confidence in him is probably more important.
You mentioned urgency in his game, but overall, when is that a good word when you're trying to follow up a performance like Minnesota? One of the things Pally said, this performance in Minnesota means absolutely nothing unless we can follow it up with something.
Well, consistency is everything. So yeah, without a doubt, that is the case. We have to follow it up. Have to build upon it. We want to start better than we did and carry that forward, and try to get some traction here in our game. And coming back home, we hope to be able to do that, and hopefully, we've earned the confidence of our fans coming back here to welcome us back and help get us going. And I think that is all a big part of it here if we're going to really find some traction and kind of get this thing moving in the right direction.
Lineup decisions. I know you talked about this with Dougie, but how do you sort of communicate that with players, especially high-profile players like Dougie, in terms of needing to stay ready and those sort of things as a coach? Like, how do you deal with those conversations and dynamics?
Yeah, well, each one is different, but for the most part, I try not to ever surprise anyone when I'm making a decision. I want to make sure that they hear it from me beforehand, and you communicate sort of the why you're making that decision, and then you always. You always want to make sure the player stays ready, because you don't know what's going to happen game to game, shift to shift, and then your opportunity is going to come back around, and make sure you're ready for it. So the mental part of it is just so important. Dougie's situation obviously is very unique that he's going through here, but my message to him was no different than any other player that's coming out of the lineup, high profile or not, which is we're healthy, and I'm making a decision to go with other guys. but you got to stay ready. Like I think I said on the road, it was very specifically said we're playing a back-to-back right away. Like, be prepared and be ready. Obviously, things kind of blew up a little bit outside of that, but inside our walls, I knew what the message was to Dougie, and that's really all that I'm focused on.
So then we spoke to Tom this morning. He gave you a strong vote of confidence, said you two are working in lockstep. I'm sure that's not a surprise to you, but is it important to hear that from the general manager during a season that's not going the way you expected?
Yeah, of course. I mean, Fitzy hired me, brought me here, showed the confidence, to bring me here, and my job every day is to make the group work. So I want to know his vision. I want to know what his thoughts are, and make sure that we are on the same page with that. He gives me lots of freedom to do things the way that I want or how I see them, but it's all done obviously with the vision of the team and how it's built in mind. So I've enjoyed my time with them, and the importance of that relationship between manager and coach is it really shows its value at times when it's hardest. That's when you need to lean on it the most to be able to find your way on to the other side of it. It's been a challenging stretch here for us, without question, but it's not my first challenge as a coach. And, I've got lots of confidence we're going to find our way, but we can only do it one day at a time.
I think the defensive game took a step between Winnipeg and Minnesota. Just curious on what your thoughts were in that area of the game, because it really seemed like there was a lot of urgency and tenacity and getting pucks moving north quickly. Just what did you kind of see?
Yeah, there definitely was. I thought it took us too long to get to that. I thought early in the game, in that first 10 minutes, I thought we were still a little bit hesitant, and whether it was some sloppy puck play that got us in transition or just the way in which we defended and lost some body position. Early in the game, I thought allowed Minnesota to get some real momentum with that, but we got to do that better early. But I thought, for the remainder of the game, I thought we were really good. Even if we made some mistakes here and there, recovery was really good, and guys coming back in second, third efforts, and the number of puck battles that we won went up exponentially from the way it's been to the way that it was there. So we showed our guys all that this morning: the physicality, the urgency, the connectedness. From one line mate to another, then also from one line to another with how they handed it off to others. You look at the Polak goal at the end of the second period. That whole sequence, right from our defensive zone all the way into the offensive zone, to get a zone line change, where we can go quick in the neutral zone and come right back on the attack. And then, to me, that's the game. And that's what we've been talking about since day one of training camp, or really day one since I got here last season, is that sort of connectedness. And that was it on full display. When we do that, we're beating anybody.
This might sound like a silly question, but we hear the word consistency so much, and Nico was just in the locker room saying that this league is ruthless. Every team is looking to find consistency. What's the difficulty in finding that as a coach? How do you focus on certain areas of the game, the bigger picture, to just go one day at a time and not thinking the overall umbrella of it?
Yeah, it's the greatest challenge by far. It's what everybody's pursuing. Every team is good in the league. Every team has good players. I mean, there's a draft, there's salary cap. Like, every team is good. There's, there's so many great players in the league. So the teams that can do it most consistently and stack up good habits on top of one another, those are the teams that rise to the top. That's just it. So yeah, if that's what you're pursuing, how do you get there? For me, it's just continuing to preach these habits and the details. We got to grow our habit base and our willingness to just do the difficult things with and without the puck that just allow our game to come together. And you look at this last stretch, call it 6 weeks or so, anytime we've been good, like, it's looked very similar to the way it did in Minnesota. And that's what we just got to get to more. It's on me to simplify the message, keep them on the same page and adhering to it. But we just got to keep working with our group, to find that. And the greatest challenge: injuries, the schedule, fatigue, like all these things wear you down. And the teams that manage it the best, like I say, are the ones that persevere and are in the playoffs and competing in the end.
Thank you.